Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your location. Meeting Eddie Ataba for Jamra Utumi Ephraim, the Royal King. Currently, we are live on TikTok and on Facebook. When we finish, we're going to put it on YouTube as well. Mpacho inbox me, and Oka say, inbox me and let's have a chat. But today is not about Odobroni. It's the relationship. We call it the sacredness of marriage. The moment you decide that you're going to give birth, the moment you decide that you're going to get married, you have to let the marriage be sacred, because Yankopon or Bo Awari no wateho. A decision, and yet you don't just decide, get up and say we are going to get married. And no ho ensem na ye ne abejafo ye ba be discuss e wa ha say no. Ye wo mu bebre o ho a ye de wedding, any reception, any picture taking, any social media posting, ye de home pressure akwakoware. Aware yenye ready say ye worry. You know, say when we confront an issue, we don't know how to solve it. And ye mu bebre so why ye really ashe adamfufuo mu when it comes to relationship. When you are in a serious relationship with somebody, or you are in a friendship with somebody, the moment you get married, I'm not saying that you should cut ties with your friends. You should give your friends a space. Just allow your friends, just give them, set them frames. You can't say crowd. Yeah, last number. You can't say. You see, give them your what? Your what? Frames. You can't say crowd.
What, the boundaries?
Yes, set boundaries for them. Thank you, frames. Set boundaries for your friends. And then just say but once somebody fabi emma wadam for no, you don't discuss your marriage, your relationship issue with your friend. They should be your friends in this relationship. But I know and ye bibia na obe sorry boom because asem kitswe bi I say utumi shona onu. I'm telling you, your friend will help you escalate it. Stay put, hanging there, forever be mine. No care. There are so many relationships are good, so many marriages are good, and yet through friends. If your movie be, I say 17 again, say being 17 again or feeling like 17 again. Na guy no on ne wife enya asem no obana damfo. Obana damfo ye ya say onku ni kuna ware no obema no younger man. On forget about ni kunu no. Together we'll touch the sky. Younger man, they don't know, baby. Oh, baby, what an hour, 2, 3, 4. I mean, yes, there are some relationships that are very toxic. Now, there is no way. Obeka say, yes, I say, be anywhere. At least try your best. Try say best. No matter how secretive you are, no, moon try some best of. And no one 7 year day bremo and then. Yeah, this guy say abaye bia onya no was 17 years. Ushia be maybe our college no 21 years. Now omu date for 4 years and say no omu worry. Nti no omu worry no oba no 21 na be man so 25 years. No mo worry we no oni obadi na ewo baako 4 na saa time no na oba no aya na adwane so mumienu na ni sade say oba no be ye adwuma no de ahwe be man na akọ school na say be man ko school na say ja obenye ske bia na oba no say ebia no no so etumi akọ de na be man no okọ no school no oba be ye lawyer medical malpractice attorney no. ohodo who say girl no wa wo for kra we sebe we fota until no I have to go for 20-year-old girl we me secretary so I say we are kasa for the first week second week this is the third part abeya court in some man in some kind anko ye ya discuss bebre wo hwe YouTube content ni egu ho nti wa wentie bi no betumi akọ YouTube ekofolo na wetie story ne sene ete na ne ekosi ya ne se oba no ante ne ho ase do na be ma ne pese oba no $16,000 a month but still our bonus up $20,000 plus oba na ante ne ho ase o enti ode awerehwo ekokoku be ma no ene ne yere na o ware 20-year-old girl na wa no but okunu wie no so other prison from 80s till now other so that prison ena ye bisa say one kadan ina wo beye nti eno ena me wo abejafo frames adakabre e wa ha say ena the Council of Living Saints omo ka ho no am say omo nam kwan so omo nya mamedu ye nti omo ba we will still add them to the discussion nti adakabre mpacho mo akwa ba mu omi tu mu mamu akwa ba
Mejoso minyabema. Good morning.
Yo mamu akwa ba mamu ina akwa ba da say all right nti enano ne ya beka no mamu ni story no yakwa kodu baby a ese yehu say ya discuss a lot from for part 1 part 2 part 3 and then you see Dan Broderick no the responsibility anything Dan Broderick no na the responsibility pa I say oh yeah e wa aware mu no ene ne wa he ne di kan say the affair was married then pa na ebeba bema obeka say me fa me yire me ne na awo ba ku mienu miensa enan me no abre oni mi na abre yenhwe no in general you know obi wo ho a yesi ebinum wo ho a omo be ware no na omo dress kama omo ye romantic omo ye say but omo dress wi a na atiegu be ma bi wo ho a obeka obi wo a onka do you think say eno na ma da no ekoko start affair outside ana say eyenu suban ma yen share ase ewo okay you say ladies first frames na dan we say eyenu suban na say eye bibi we say yesusu say eye bibi na kwatrika bibi ye education crofo eye bibi na kwatrika bibi ana
I don't think say bibi no coach bibi. I think say naturally, right? Nipa nya sika na wuhu omusuban ankasa.
okay
You know, I think say naturally, you know, so uniska, you have ideas and visions of what you would do when you get money. Oh, like we to make us minyeska meto car we meto dine we onyenya sanyoma no right but wakato. So when you become that person now you've envisioned yourself to become no financially no you're in a good place no I feel there no maybe you couldn't afford to do no you will do naturally no when men become successful you are going to attract many women right enti ebia enye so ondo na iri no but ebi oba pa na nkonyanka obe oni ne be ekono that time money skenti no entimi akwasa oba no say na when you scan I feel that's when your boldness confidence to be ultimately approach some certain type of a maybe oh and you know that thing that's where discipline comes in if you don't become disciplined you go and do anything and everything and I think say in this case you know and yet your bani be done now naturally he just lacked discipline in that area that's how I mean you
no okay yo but I see bebre na wo feel say Emma sisi ano na yesi when you are in a relationship what do I say fine wo relationship e bia onu eduane fine wo kasa akra very you know kasa akra respect ni ade egum ba bebre no omo ware a na sa niema no so etwa still I'm still on Adakabre do you think say that could also be the possible reason a member ebinum echiti na se ope oyira question say ope oyira aden na we hu say ne dress ne niama esesa no approach no.
I think say me as a woman, I can only speak for me, my gender, right? Sometimes we get too comfortable.
A man, right?
That's yes. Say be a dressing be no ni be no maybe an hour and attractive bear man. But say when you're bear man, you know, so effort now you are putting in no. Oh, I say well who say
na we mute who kakra. That's it.
I say well who so okay me nya we into me have me who cry day. Oh, side it's like I said, I was only doing it to get you. I wasn't doing it to sustain you or to keep you. Oh, I said, it's just like when you make your resume for a Juma. What polish your resume, no? What go interview? What dress it come out? What interview, no? A Juma, boss, na supervisor, no say, I need power. You find a Juma more. Send no yen no ma. But when you read Juma anymore, ube say a Juma na say, then you become complacent.
Yeah.
Well, the rules and regulations, why you start bending them. Because after all, you man menye say no be quiet, your mouth post be out or top. And say no, or dress na the bedroom cry no. It's not like before. Because I saw they show to me say you man cry ain't me you medi. Oh, and I think say in life that's how most women we behave. Okay, menya we into I was say me sa shisha sometime for day. Deɛ mepɛ no me nsa aka sɛ na meyɛ de agye ring na sɛ me nsa aka ring no ɛde bɛbi mu like what's next. Oh, and we don't think say because say most men are visual no oyi n'ani firi saa nneɛma no so he's not going to attract something else.
Good morning, Mama G. Your patcho go.
Oh, and see, I always tell some of my friends who say a man who do na I know say and crash a day. Oh, so I no power so drunk, but sometimes no, a binum no munina Eddie no excuse too much. I want you know, but like try your best.
Okay.
Oh, if you are trying your best, not still and far, and no yes said you are not trying at all. At least, mummy and try. Oh, nay, my own yakono. Which me who back come pan ni maybe I may make me cause me as a woman cry me who I'm like you are not trying to look good for them and cry for yourself. Do it for yourself. And now if you say you are too overwhelmed, now you need to talk to someone. Now we hear more. If you are here helping hand, speak up. And also can we born more here more be uncrano why you overwhelmed? Oh, ntimi nka na waye enu na mama bebre so a drive mu into depression no. Because ebi a obi on mu kana wa planning life so be true. But now she say true na kwaye 4. Ahode na nkode be hwe true no oni for 4 no.
Okay.
On chimpacho say mommy and family planning is how no meaning and do what we can do. But always keep in the back of your mind say try to look good, not just for him, but for yourself.
For yourself. Okay. Yo, but that's it. Pacho, Abija for friends, my journey, Mama G, and Amma. We are talking about incident at ACE 1969 in America. 7 still are and said Asokra court. We say my men etiasi. Abaye bia ushia ne boy college. Abaye no 17 years. Mam a beman no 21. Omu date for 4 years. Na omoware na say 4 years no na abaye no 21 years na be man 25 omoti omo ho ase say abaye no be ye edwuma na odi ahwe be man atwa no school so abaye no carry edwuma be say 4 ebobo so eye bills ni duane on be di ni bibia abaye ya no take responsibility dan on be dem ni ade na after that no be man eba be ye doctor osanso to aso eba be ye lawyer nti ye medical malpractice attorney. Bema ni yesi ka wie no kokofo abaye owo 20 years. Satana o ne no Betty no wawo 4. Betty ni bisa na o se da enye no kure. After 3 years na say bema ni decide say obeware no. Ano na o kan no kure kire ne say metwempena. Abrofo so noyin se ne omotene o kan wie ya no 250 ho na say wonyiska Satana wakoto fie fe. no ne oba no kwotine mu na chese omo ware omo twe quarter na ba say okay so dem meja me kwan the alimony sika no meji 20,000 plus a month, which is $250,000 a year. Be man say oni bi na obema no $16,000 plus a month, which is $190,000 plus. Last in UK, you decided last week you discussed in case nkoje na nkotwe ho. And I said, what was he fighting for? And in etwem yaba aba bedu sisi ano beti ne akwakoku or papa no ene ne yere no. Ena wakoda prison ye jailing no for more than 35 years. Still an asem no the last time I'm asem no parole no say omsu gbenu no ho no dabi. They saw nothing wrong with say oba na enu no ho. Nti no ehun asem na yeka. Ye wo from Sadakabre wa ha ye wo the Council of Living Saints. Council of Living Saints bacho ye do so. So Dan Subaino. Do you think say Bibi yesi Bibi anka papa so enye chere. Bibi na esi ye. Apart from say ye discuss we no me into afofofo so. Nwa nya ya ware ewie nya wo relationship no. Ufi say Bibi pa na ebesi after wa ware no ena ebetwe say kwana kwatwe mpana e wa bontiana.
Thank you, TRK, and thank everybody that has joined. Yes, I want to speak truth in honor of Dan's memory by ensuring that others don't repeat this error. And then the best way to honor the dead is to learn from how they died. So Dan was murdered. He was a victim and did not deserve it. Or is there anything that he did that led to the choices that directly led to his own death? I mean, we can see the conditions that he created, and then he bears kind of a moral responsibility for the tragedy, even though Betty pulled the trigger. So when it comes to a matter of responsibility, we are looking at, we as humans, we are wired not necessarily in one way. Like you can say, we are perfectly wired in this way. So everything that we do, we expect it to be right. There are things that we do in life that will lead to consequences of the things that we have done.
Okay.
So if we are looking at Dan, the decision for him to make a choice to dishonor his marriage, I mean, this is something that many people face in life. I mean, he's not the only person that might have cheated, or he's not the only person that has gone through such crisis in life. But we can see that, especially for rich people, right? When people become rich in life, they are faced with kind of challenges which is different from where he was when they started or they met. But I want to start with kind of analysis of Dan chose Linda. I mean, went into the direction of cheating. We can say maybe midlife crisis. So we are looking at midlife. Midlife crisis is just kind of a psychological thing, right?
Okay.
The psychological thing, which mostly around 40 to 60, but then I think when he started this was about 38, so close to it. So this is a moment in life of individuals where they questioning their identity, purpose, and morality, leading to self-reflection. And as we talk a lot about on TRK Multimedia, on some other days we talk about the Council of the Living Saints meditations of a Christian state. We talk about life, that from 50 to 70 years, that is where you have the true reflection of your life on earth and when you are checking out. So somehow we are looking at reasons. I'm not pointing out that this is exactly what is the cause, but we are looking at what reasons, what makes a man maybe cheat, a man live that life. And as I said, first principle is that we are not wired to do the right. We almost assume that, oh, why doesn't he do this? He should have known it's right. He should have known this. There are millions of people that at the end of the day, they are committing crime. So that whole perception that everybody should know what is right and do what is right is a wrong perception or a wrong way to think about things. So we are looking at...
Sorry to carry off. Mama G, bisa about the story. We'll call Google. I will say Betty Broderick case. Betty Broderick case. Yeah, we'll be the whole story. Okay, Betty Broderick case.
Broderick.
Okay. open so about to media ma your friends and chat GPT about to me yama. But your cancel Kosomame.
So yeah, we are looking at the first one, the midlife crisis, right? Why would he make such a decision? So we are looking at 38-year-old man, successful and unworthy. This is kind of very, very common with rich people. And even pastors, when they become successful, we can name, but kind of a number of pastors, when they became very famous and popular, they divorced their wives. And I mean, not to throw my own kind of pastor under the bus, but most of us know of Pastor Chris Oyakhilome. It's not necessarily that he threw the wife under the bus, but I'm just talking about divorce, right? He has divorced his wife.
Okay.
So wanted to feel young and desired again. That is midlife crisis. Linda represented the youthful wife that she saw in Betty. And then excitement and then the newness. Then we can talk about entitlement, right? He felt he earned the right to be happy. So he to minimize his obligation to Betty, and then I worked hard and I deserve this. This is common with a lot of people at that stage, or when they are thinking through whatever they are doing. So we are looking at Dan as a case study, right? We are looking at revised history. He convinced himself Betty hadn't really contributed that much. I mean, that is hard to say, but for him to have really overcome the fact that Betty has contributed so much in his life, there must have been something in his mind that he didn't value. Maybe we are valuing so much that Betty has done so much for him, but he himself didn't see that Betty has done anything so much. So ingratitude was there. She was just doing what wives do. And that is normal too. So many men think, or women think that, oh, he's a man, he's supposed to provide for the family. So hey, what's that, right? Does he really deserve credit or gratitude for that? Maybe he was thinking she doesn't deserve, she was just doing her job as a wife, right? He forgot or minimized her sacrifices.
Okay.
Then we can talk about validation of addiction, right? Linda validated his successful identity. And that is true. Most men at that stage think about, oh, I'm going out to a meeting, board meeting. He wanted a smart, young looking girl to follow her everywhere that she go. To some maybe Congress meetings, a whole lot. She wanted that identity that she found in validated his success. And then Betty represented his struggling past. And that is also another way people look at their life, right? They look at their old girlfriend, they look at their wife, and they think, oh, this is a past.
Now we mute you, sister, man, Pacho, me too, that's it. But what baswa mute you, why? Okay, thank you. All right, Pacho, cancel Kosomame.
Then looking at the validation of addiction again, he wanted the trophy, not the woman who knew him when he was nothing. And this is again common to people at their decision point to cheat or divorce. And then we are looking at lack of moral courage. And that is huge. I mean, our moral fortitude and courage by which we do what is right. Because as we always learn, I always say, life is full of challenges. Every decision point, if you want to move from one place to another, you change your position of rest, any activity you want to do, you are faced with challenges to make decisions either to the left or right. So his lack of moral courage, easier to pursue pleasure than to do hard work of the marriage. Easier to start over than repair what is broken. I don't know, maybe there was something friction between him and Betty, which wasn't made to light unless maybe we read deeper into discoveries and the case. But he could have solved the problem. No matter what was going on, he could have solved. And easier to blame Betty than to examine himself. Blame game, right? He may have been blaming Betty in everything, every way in the marriage. So these are the things that people, I mean, in Dan's case, but particular to Dan, that he went through, but it could apply to so many other people too who are going through the same situation. And that's what we said. These are challenges we all face. People will face, you may face different challenges in your marriage, different challenges in life. You don't continue. Love in itself will not just be there when you started, continue to be there forever. You have to work at it. Energize it, rekindle, fire it all the time. And this is work which people don't want to do. And it tends to be that, just like Dan did, most people try to take the other way and move away from the sacredness of marriage, as we are discussing.
Okay, but that's be brave. Since I'm a phone, I mean, into Ebeko Mama G, you prepare. Mama G, what is story we? Ama
Hey,
Charity.
I'm a funny, you know, I'm about to first.
Bakuba first, but second one and they may use Charity. Into no needing a charity. Into charity would the second ama wo. My uncle Mama G. Mama G, what is story? Obi over 17 years akwara because you're naive 21 years what na atwempena ma worry me decide mu mienu na decide say me oba na me ye adwuma na me de ahwe be me na wako school abaye doctor san aba be hwe medical school ne tenten e kwan wa wasan aba be law wasan ko law school aka abaye lawyer ne tenten wie wa ye penny you are making about $1 million a year na wie ya wo se makwa ko hu den pa na ekoka papa ina ofi say en papa ko ye kire den na ekoka papa nti a be ma ne sha say obi o twempena na nka ese nka oba no osi abotra na we dem do beku ekire kakra because na story na ebi enim Mama G
I thought my me go first.
wona about first wo ama wona about first
Yeah.
okay yo ama and the same question e come why pacho
Yeah.
Yo, me patcho me da sinya me shall no question idea about you topic. I believe you say nipa nkasa mema ni bebre no. Yi mema 100 me ana make me deal patcho nyo me nye work e bia ho. Mo be 90 ankasa no. Bebre na anyansa no wo musisim e wo adwamamo. Nti oba no kra wo bo ani du ba bia.
Bacho koso you ready away Bacho baby koso baby
Yeah, me say me ana my work. Patcho nyo bia le kawa me ana my
Bacho koso baby
because me de me bra penny example na we adwuma wo Koban. Na me bra penny adwuma wo Koban. Na yire ye adwuma wo Konfanoche. E bra na adwuma na yire ko night na ese wo de bia be hwe na da ko na mi so na me say bra na den na nwumre bia sister tin na ko adwuma na de bia be hwe. Ti e ho na ma me nya adwuma bi say mema ankasa bebre na adwuma mo ankasa su wo mu. Nti se wo ye oba na wo boa be ma wo so boa wo ho. Me mi so nyina me wadwen bi wo mitirim se me nkasa be ma nya de because ma ware awo ma wa America ha no nti me nkasa ye wo mema ni bi wo ho mu buo mo ho krasa de na me koye me hete me nti me nye ana me nche da mble mu mema ni bebre so yen aye nuanom na aba no mu ni self love self confidence nti ono obi wo ha obi ni kunu build a na obi dwira gu wo mu nyina so nya me hwe wo mo because e dia me ti America hey e bia me na me sika sem ye by now say me bu me kun nti me de me no nyama kata no so na yakoye bibi kakra ubenya nkrase fo ga esi e wo ho ye tu nro na ode abaji ukun me de esa esi no me de nyame dua abo agya enti me nyama ya ma no papa ye ni self confidence bebre na obi won so ani fie nye enti onu hu say bi esi te ni kun develop no Mama na chese tira kumasi de na me be we hu
Pacho mo hwe na mo like keep on tapping the screen for us Pacho koso
oya black chief oni ni no ko night ko he TV Mama na di kan di apo na to no beti wo ba lo ko black chief I'm telling you bro me kumasi ni get de make bia enti me say me wo mama for apart from say me no mo America me bomb pay mo say de wo mo ho fe me mo I say mem for wo ba enchiti ne da ana nya
me wo feel wo mba no me kai me ye me wo Ghana na me ma me ti ase no ya me fa de crazy me fi Accra bana sa time na yen say me nya one pack na me 6 packs pa na wo hwe me boa ma ye matwi na me di
ana Accra wo say me bra panyin
sa we hu and ye me me pemba me pacho be
wo say pa
na
oh that no so pesa ba wo say o chaka
ba ku bi bi okay na me de tawule si ma sin na me de tawule si ma sin na me hwe me ma me kwa na me ma me hwe mbo si ya inti na wo she be yefuru o ti say me ma me afili
that's why I'm proud of you.
Proud of you exactly yeah
no mo fa wa wo say o ma ho
yeah
inti the make say aha ne the good thing say enam say aha no nkra no or high school or college o sheda ye adwuma nti na aha no obi mpel because of security
okay
but on say Ghana standard of pen no aho kire no wo ho nti ma me na create me pia ne ba say ko ne nko na wonya da achi ma Hanti asemi ya woke me case asemi wo bedwa so me de say no ne na e ma asema nti me ti say wo kan ware ho asema na me begina so
okay
yemma na yenya self development
okay
ma yenya ya adwisi ekose obi fie because okay kan bible o se de ugo no betwa e bia na wo se me fie obi me de no me be to so yesu de because me metra brochi ha na me nya me ma ho wodem na me nkoye nurse nkogina me na so nkosi se no man nkofo na se bi me sunsun papa ta me kuna chi am ya ye bibia wo ayi baby a wo maame de wo fa ye nti no be chi me kunu adwe na me bra ma bra no se yem fama wa me de osoro agrada na be dwa nti ya ma na ya nware ye no me ma ya adwe so na anim dressing because unim dress na unim nsem ya bra me wo ye ana ka hu se ne ade ba kwa be hu woni pa bibifo ho ne nipa wiase nyina ho o emma no nyesi any self confidence but obabi a wote akwantu mu kura na wo kwa adwuma o wo no se na me yetiate akra bedru maybe me kese nti mema no munsua ma mama manya ma adwen se no oyire ko a one ne communicate menya wa adwen se wo second choice ne se wo kofo ba because how ba no ne 5 years kwa ba bu ni bi nti yen di from me maka che me mama due to nsem e wodwas maka che me mama say apart from some America ha minim say mo ho ofe e man na be rush e man na timi bo e she that timi busa eh na bro ye adwuma we e bia me wo ha eh na Saturday weekend so we ofie or toto wa adwino oh sa na we days da ben say oh ya wada de me mo of the wo kra woni sa adwini no eh na wote he because I be me hu ka wo aha ba bi na be ma no so anya fast also meti condo bi na wa your new no oh okay to ono oba na de wa draw to sa na ma ni nyina egu ho into a note tell that who if you know what oh bra me betwa mu call madam for me call more na me hu so ka ni si ho ono abeto achew ti me sa ama no omo go up yi so a omo to che mema na omo wi a na omo no den na be ma na mpa oba na be ma no mpa oba oba ma bie no ho mpa ne obeti ska wale no
yeah
intimi nya no mema na ya sa wo mo me pama che omo nhya mo ho so e ma ne bebre ya abaifo omo nyinsa nso papa bi omo di begum mo so mo ntena mo yire no mo ho
yo
o yire hwa na on resi a woni ne nkana dress no abroche ne wo tontale ni bibre no na yem fa mpa ibonta akiri because anya say be ha ye madachi a happy wife is a happy home sa girls no mu go achi oba lock nko aye yusu o mo sa ye ni ba lock yetem ho ayetem ho oba wale a me first boy ni me kun na ma wale na bepem na me fa na chida nti me sunsum edi ma chi am data wo she bia ne na be mo aye sa girls ne yusu o mo sa twa send them no so wa mo adwuna na ho no wa ntena wo yire mpokua ho na anya wo fa na wudidi we mu achi a obedresse enso suban na honhom na eta achire no obedu muja na nkanye suban na honhom anka ya papa ibu ye anka sam ne nka legacy papa hwede aye enso ka ye benya ma bi on be different because that is how they are doing but many say na matena si kumase ni ga matena si abeware abepem sa na ma wo enmunyamfo nkola no wo ba me kunu a me de Yesu ne bebo odua wo be na mablabo ni ye beji ama wo mfa anye hwe wo de beto yale because enye easy so obi baba betena kwantuom na wo be ye ne courses no ne di ne sunsum papa ta ne kunu achi amoma di na mo bem no mo be safie ne na mo hankora no ene nkora bebre mpese mo be ware because sa love na wo so nya wo ne papa ho anya me daddy's girl ntimi tirimu ye me de kai see so me ye kwa adum praise me papa dwale no de atena tetika me de akwa so ntimi nya be tu say nya me da so enkomo na da sa me da so kai me papa so ho bro enti girls na omo ti up yi so a omo adwun so omo na nim dress na omo fefa nnuro so agi nkofo omo nya steady because enche bi anya me beto omo so atorem ti me da se
yo me so me da se bebre mama G we there also obeka unfortunately no omo say mama mo in a long time but as ya doso wo eyin sunti no oba within 3 minutes na say to me wrap up say mama G mpacho ma yenti
me de kra enche mama musa asemo unse sometimes no forget about sometimes it's easier to say oba ware no agya no ho ware mo ho when you haven't lived in the shoes of obi ware or say hwenkra for example a mema for young, it can take me 30 minutes to get all of them ready, dressed, bibia, shower, all of that too. Mikunu ebeya be taking the bed 2 hours.
Good.
Cause when they left the crown and the right, now we have now we have now we have so until sometimes time I will benya time no crown now would cast a whatever show no. Not to say what bread, just you don't even feel like doing anything.
Okay.
Have you noticed that a ma wire no mujaya? No, my come. Because there's less responsibilities. Now she can actually focus on herself. So I say, just imagine where you're about, ubeshe ukunu, ubeshe oma, say, oh, your ma be to send me be a 4. Time bang, ube sorry be a 7 o'clock, some more sorry, 11:30, I feel more we are more sorry them. Moko tena okran so no enya be ma papa obi obeje ketwa no wum na no ejo mu nyina aboso na wote abonten no omud ye pon the same routine so the reflection of a woman is by the husband do hu ba we jaja ne ho sa na busani kunu Say support to ben or the mano, it will fear money timmy, sorry, I say, oh, you know what? My miss me couldn't you say anything to my miss me taking 2 more bar, what dress here will take care of myself now, or support will fear. Tu ho bi a wajeja no ho saa onam saa na trust me nsem e fa ne so ni trim no ni kunu no ote no kro ntimi ni nkomo. And most men are selfish in their nature. Let's not even twist and way about it. Most men are selfish in their nature. Obo anene beka ba onti oka say o kra ha adwen and I win na da bia o the way na had the den. To oba nso bebre obe sacrifice it just so that the kids and the husband will look good. No, I tan baby. I asa dani on kase and oba wa na hede wa ye no na den. Stress alone will make a woman fat.
Okay.
And a fat in so basa ba beguni yem. And I cry naturally, biologically, no. Yeah, we have more fat around our stomach because of baby carrying. So what I say, and you know, a bear massa person will eat a friend says snap back and then na. Also, so no. Make sure say you're helping her. And as much as you Becca say, man, physical, and man, so you're physical. Because if she's not attracted to what she's seeing on that crowd now or that interested. And as you telling her to take care of herself, you to take care of yourself.
Okay.
And remember, busia won't take care of no, you can tell. So what you're saying, all I'm saying is a mama, no, just imagine so as a 17 will be ready to know why a Juman, what my bedroom pen subi. Or say, oh, my main cofa will be for a year younger. What do you mean by that? So meaning so basically look at and so on. And I may always say honestly, say yeah, papa lumba same way and today a lesson pa dia name so ba. So okona koboa bema that's why you see Nyankopon boy say help us ma kona bema na ye no niam nyina awie na okona koboa na wonnim na do ahoden koboa no na start ya bebre no as we bro you already know how many times no what yes oh if your ba no boa na man ko see yes bema any sika or taste onyanya sika pe no onya different type enti oba no wani na ho no wadwen na ho because e wukunu ni benya sika pe obeka say bi ope oba we ba oni sika no na wo ye oba ope
okay
enti no na sister ne kai wo boa na ma na hwe no ho no hwe wo so ho focus on yourself build yourself as well na wo that you benya sika ameka ncho so wo nye ne type no de akwa younger girl no or fan 17 no nim so do time no munyina ono so benyina ana he was just selfish, and unfortunately, her emotions got to her. Yeah. It's very unfortunate that she's going to jail instead of enjoying these things. It's at 16,000, and Kawanje non cost every year. Be now pressing for more for what year, Juma.
Yeah.
They say, "Well, no kwada or no ko usiske kra we nya bi obi foforo kra na bedi."
Charity mpacho me too. Hunka krama me process here.
It's all I'm saying is about na ko boa be ma na start abo asha brabo asia. Think about it. Nti say okwa obema na ko wari oba onti ma na ono anensa no wabre no sweat no owie no obefa na okwa de obesumi de aboa na push it to a certain level no aye na maye da bia na akwa de ebra akwa bo owie no wajayen no aka say o wonya oba pa na you too old you too day and day and oba nso ti awari ma you we a reflection of your husband.
I'm a Charity mpacho mute hunka krama me.
Me mute me who?
Mute. Okay, let me. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, ukunu bua. Your friend is saying ukunu bua. It makes things more easy. And sometimes things here kasasa ma omujeja omuha. Let's be a little bit considerate because when you walk in the shoes of a wife, it's a whole different ball game and taking care of ways. Maybe I no pay am sorry. My husband is on the way home. After that, maybe sorry I go for my swim. Maybe you say on top of that. Me baby name me what's me cool. It just say yashisha wo she am no oji and not just me again. And that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Yashisha.
Okay.
So what I say, obu a money couldn't one baby. I want the baby now. We are tamben or what never dress or because of the baby. What do you mean when you're single, you're able to move around. You don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to find a sitter. You don't have to do nothing. Okay. The moment you become married, your responsibility and everything changes. Now you gotta look for somebody to even go on date. And all of them too need supportive husband. Where the mako? Because only me couldn't walk on a maintenance fee. There be a maintenance fee. So now if you work at them, that the be me for umpi.
Yo, Mrs. Star, me that's it.
Yeah, I just wanted to add.
Yo, me that's it. Me that's it, baby. I'm a near Adam Haneba first. I'm a Charity near Adam Haneba first. Okay.
I'm
a Charity nearby. Oh, okay. I'm a Charity by Chow. Why busy? Well, into my main friend call. Yo, Matty, any me too, mommy. Me too, my okay. I don't patch out my.
Me chacha mu nyina.
Yo, Majisio.
Asama me kan me a victim.
Uh-huh.
Ebi to me wo Ghana. Me share bema wo secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
Onimade pa nti owie school no. Me pese me born topa kakra.
Okay.
Na obekọ university. Me maame wo kakra. Nti ne maame mu ni bi nti ya adwen se e be support no.
Mm-hmm.
Me boa na obewie university na me fa nyinse.
Mm-hmm.
Owie university na ope soja mu kwan. Mani eden kakra. Nti man do e krom e soja panyin. Me na me de ne forms ko ma papa na me ye fa no.
Mm-hmm.
Me na me de ne ba Accra training school. O pass it out me na me di loan. Me maame sika me de be ye ne graduation ni bibia.
Mm-hmm.
O pass it out by me ne da mpa so 2 weeks. Sa no ko ware. Me free
Wow.
in chain. Yes, December 2019. The first week of December ni na me wo. Me free in chain 2 weeks no ye wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Asem kakra me kani. Me say be menye sika onim oba ope.
Mm-hmm.
Nti de bia me say abrabo na sign na chi a. Na intimi sign na chi nti Nyankopon abam TikTok aba.
Mm-hmm.
E de na e be ka kire youth na eba.
Exactly.
So obe ko school ayiro hu ko school.
Mm-hmm.
Obe sua adwuma ayiro hu sua adwuma.
Mm-hmm.
Obeye business ayiro hu ye business.
Mm-hmm.
Na be ma nye sunie.
Mm-hmm.
Oba wu sika be ma bu.
Mm-hmm.
Oba na okun onkunu sama.
Mm-hmm.
Sika na aboye. Abo ne maame,
Mm-hmm.
abo ne nua ba, abo eyere. Me
Mm-hmm.
kwakodem. Abrochi
Na ne
president
mma
body
no
say me
nkwara sɛ sɛ yɛ nkwara yɛ akei na
ọma
nkwara no
nyinyi
bɛyɛ
ombenya
basaa
baabi afa ọma
ɔmo yɛ
nyinyi
fɔ
ombenya baabi afa ọma nyinyi panyin na wɔm ne nhwɛ wɔn sɛ obi bɛtena ase adi dɛdeɛ wobɛwu akɔda mmarima yɛ wicked sɛ ɔmo ne wo bla ɔma no dɛdɛɛdɛ ma bɛrima sika ma ne dan ma ne cars ɔbɛka kyerɛw sɛ ɔbaa na wɔfa na ne to akyea woyɛ ɔbaa na wosi so a wobɛsua adwuma ayerɛ ho sua ne yie wobɛkɔ sukuu ayerɛ ho kɔ ne yie na sɛ ma ɛboa wo na ɛyɛ a na ɛyɛ a ọba a ọbẹyẹ sẹ ẹbẹ nyame bẹtua wo kasa de otua mẹka no ọba a ọbẹyẹ saa bẹẹma wo ni sika deɛ ọba hu na bu na n'ekyi atwam ma ebua wo na ɛyɛ a ɛyɛ a na mɛma no mo nkae sɛ foundation ansa na wobɛsi dan foundation na wode dan no bɛsi so no ɛna ɛyɛ very important nti sɛ ɔboa ma wo build foundation ni wie na wobu ne kwase a nyame bɛtua wo katua w'asefoɔ ka ɔba bi memmɔ odua nyankopɔn na mede ne ma no ɛyɛ nhyia
okay.
Me 2019 December 21st nyame amamu a na nyame maame a nka me wi. Me maame ne so me mu.
Ebi ato yes sisters bebre wo ayi so just say easy. Sa ayi.
Broken heart. Sana ma dwene da ho na maame m ka kyerɛ me sɛ kɔ school me sɛ menkɔ. Me de menkɔ me bua no so owi obahwɛ me school. Menkɔ. Me maame pa me kyɛw because me maame me na obi ankɔ school da. Na na me secondary school. Enso me sɛ bɛmɛnti. Wa panani anto sɛ me ne na wo me ne ne brɛyɛ. Owie yɛ ɔde 15,000 Ghana cedis blame sɛ menje. Enne obi guide ne salute no yɛ soja ni. No abɛka saa asɛm yɛ akyerɛ me sɛ ɔbɛma me 16,000 kakɔ abɔ nsɛm gyem. Ghana yɛ ni tuo wɔ hɔ. Na ɔde nyame adom America tuo yɛ tɔn ne firi. So ɔnhwutu ne saman. Ɛmɛma yɛ wicked. Mo me ntu youth ne fo sɛ woyɛ ɔbaa na wosi so a yɛ adwuma. Ma wo ho hia first. Wokɔbɔ obi ba bɛma sɛsɛ. Man penisi kan you akɔbɔ ne lady. Simple.
Remember your work Dan I don't know why yes I must say your work can say.
Simple.
Yeah, moving see you ma boa boy. O ma boa yem pa still are.
You mema 5 you move one pen kaisa na iraboa no. You move one pen kaisa na iraboa.
Yeah.
Hwede yakɔso ne nansa. Twitwa gu wade we so TikTok mpo me ma akɔpem sɛ ɔmoyɛ bibi na ɔmoyɛ ne wie because me tia na makoma ɛyɛ me ya. Abrochi me ba bi na hu sɛ isa abrochi sa ya wagana mo kan different be do ha yɛ different.
Okay.
Madam Biam ne tifi okuta ba 10 years single mother okwa adwuma akwa no tise ode ne bejayen na wakɔ na waba just stressful. Mema radin from born home.
Yo, I mean.
So won sutu ne sama.
Oh. Yeah, solution. Yo, me da say. Ba don't me da say bebre. Frames. Charity do so why busy. Frames ayi yeah, semo. Betty say or catch her or warn it done say fire her by 1st October or get out. As yere papa media yana me de to Abraham, right? time Sarah kofa Hagar Abraham on the way ni echi no hu se abaye ni mpokwa esisi so kama ni baby a intact no hu so ofe mia na mekofa bae enso miwura mia me so meboa okọ ni wura ho na ka kire ne se miwura mia na mekae enso we die meboa me srew bebre manenko Abraham na din because one enye se pe na ope Hagar dodo but na Abraham edwen Ishmael ho akwara Isha na me pam no a tete so ka bie ni ho ntina se omo nante wilderness iso a na so bi koku obai ni me be ya na ye ne den but Sarah insist here se pam no manenko Abraham tie ni yira sem opam no the same thing na Betty here or say fire her or get out. Dan refused to fire her. So, he chose Linda over family. When the day na catch her, say Dan no, na say we make it up na mind. Ni ye kanya. She say me betua me makani ade na. Dan wakwa ba. He chose Linda over family. Inka o yire hu na waba we hu waba. Okay, mi wura me de achew. Pam no man nko. Won pam no dia by 1st October, won pam no dia end free. O man deadline so.
Okay.
Into what was Dan's motive? Tell if you say Dan kadang or tis has and can call den. Dan no can send call den. And I said Linda Betty did the right thing and I said or confronting you.
No, this is what people don't get. Human beings will always do what will satisfy them. Okay, so even if say what what pouch or whatever, giving him an ultimatum, no, most men don't like that. And you know about trying say ja obana na sisi onu no ja when it da.
But obianka wo do yira wo suro yira wo ya de sie ni de we hu me de ache wo o de pam no enye say mi hu ina mi ja wo pam no o se me ye.
No, and I make us say because Dan had already emotionally and mentally no check it out of relationship no any better woman no. On also born no ma like okochiti ba ko bi na eche na de chair no we sorry ono onya na ajo so pese o jani you. Dan the any the onu no meant like emotionally no check it out. There was no coming back from that. O bema wa check it out no. And no na be man is how ultimatum no say jana na say you don't even have to tell him he's already checked out. He was already gone. What I say, and to only one say, Nintine fie has say, Nastelano, Mefa we chidi and Maminjao. Na mean free mu preko. And I think that the mistake some man make they say, why are you leaving the decision up to him? So shana so wabana mbwa. It's okay for you to leave. I think say sometimes we leave all that responsibility to obey man so say untini ejaimen. How do you join ye? No, I mean, you don't have to wait for him to leave. You yourself, you go. You don't have to give him an ultimatum because 9 times out of 10, you give a man an ultimatum, they're still going to do what they want to do because so many obane jai, still obefa we chininaye.
Yeah.
So maybe I think he even did her a favor by leaving. So me tina ho na me tete o na ma for wachi na me buy me tran trade any mami ami nyede. Mami ami njana mi koye made. And it's not like say be or trim. That's all worry no. O pelenda no. O worry na ade. It's en ko penny say oni ne trim na keka go an worry no. Ade na no girl no pa na no mpe the tini biem. Pen and on pen.
No pen. Okay. Yo, but I see we Council of Living said. But what
happened?
Yo, Betty knew so yeah, another allegation said near a trading through Mukran said Dan catcher will be I said Sebu Wabadam. Naji Mukano. Whilst a year on also feels that his own actions drove her to this instability. And do you think say no na Emma Betty no or escalating near man?
Well, the escalation stemmed from a lot of issues, a lot of things that drove her from one point to another. But before I go to that, I want to just speak some comments on the previous guess
Okay.
what they said, right? We have people that have experienced it, and I can see and understand where she's speaking from in pain, right? And from her experience, and it's tragic. And as we even see what happened to Dan from his experience. So yes, I would say take heart. May God help you to heal, because what you are saying about men are wicked, all men are wicked, and all that seems like it shows your hurt and pain that you are still going through. But just to also add from what dear sister just said, as I said in the first time, that humans are not wired to do just right and wrong. Right, but naturally, as we all understand from Christian perspective, we live in a fallen state and a fallen life. So our tendency and propensity to do what is evil is higher than naturally somebody doing what is right. So our culture, our religion, our training, education set barriers that help us to make the right decisions anytime. So it's not just that, Dan, why can he do that? It's all that, what have we built ourselves up to for us to make the right decision? Because the first law is survival. And in every relationship, it's something we all have to come to that understanding, that the first law of life is survival. And everybody tend to make decisions where their survival is satisfied. But these are the barriers, our culture, our religion, the teachings that we have been having in life, the training, the education will make you make the right decision above your survival state. And then when it comes to marriage too, right, I always say it's a relationship sanctified under God, legal or cultural jurisdiction. So it's only under the marriage which is sanctified under God that there's expectation that to let life do us apart. If your marriage is not under God, and then under God, people may think it's just when a pastor bless it, or it's when we marry at church, that means we are married under God. It is when you married under the set principle that the man will love the woman will submit. And then the submit, as we come to, sometimes people understand it's more like slavery, and no, not at all. Because you are all independent people. You are all people with your own choices and life expectations and life dreams and visions. But when you two come together under the God principle, the expectation is that the woman submit that kind of energy, because we never say somebody should submit if that person does not have overpowering edge. So God says submit because you're the woman, you are the more powerful person than the man, to my understanding. Because if two are standing there and we say somebody should submit, that's the first thing to think about is, that one is more powerful. If he doesn't submit, then there's going to be an
remember
issue.
somebody, we are more powerful. Submit, and some man submit.
Yeah. So that is the sense. And then again, when we are saying that is the choice, then the choice now comes to who you are marrying, because you can't just submit under anybody who cannot even control themselves. Or so that who you marry is also one thing. But this is to bring to the marriage principle under God that makes it more successful and makes it more lifelong than the marriage and the legal, because the marriage and the legal, which in some practice we marry under God and then we put it under illegal, which is under the government. But solely marriage, which is solely under the legal, is just two people. Like here in America, people, they can go to the court and then sign some contract, prenup. They sign the laws under which they are going to stay together. And as I say, marriage is a relationship which is sanctioned. So their relationship, they take it to the court and then sign contracts and agreements on how they're going to live their relationship. But the sad story is that we call that too marriage. And then we call the one under God marriage. And then the cultural marriage is where, based on our cultures, right? In India, their culture of marriage is different. In China, their culture of marriage is different. And in Saudi Arabia or the Islamic kingdoms or countries, their culture of marriage is different. The man can marry as many, the man can be the woman, the man can do all those things against the woman, right? That is the cultural marriage. It's a cultural concept. The fact that we are not doing that doesn't mean it doesn't exist in some parts of the world. But the key thing here is that when you are marrying who is God-fearing, and then as we know, people changes, but if you have these principles, you are looking at these principles in somebody who is culturally, religiously trained and educated in the mind, he is able to make tough decisions for the right thing. And that's why we Christians, we gear towards marrying under Christian concept. Not that Christians don't divorce, but you it's the only place where you know you'll be safe to have it till death do us apart. It's the only place that you know that the person would be able to love you to the end, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of the circumstances changing and life going to change. So, because if you don't understand those things, and we think we enter into every relationship and the expectation, the guy should know to love me all the time, the woman should know to stay and not cheat. This cheating issue is, we know that is going on around the world. We know it's going on, it's every day happening. But the question is, what prevents your husband not to cheat? What will prevent your wife not to cheat?
Okay.
And I'm saying is the culture, the religion, the training, the education, the barriers we set ourselves. And then it's always, it's work. Marriage is work. It's the relationship. And as we said the first time when we started this discussion, so many people get into relationship, and as soon as they bring it under marriage, then there's the chaos. Right. And so many in our part of this world or country, a lot of people would prefer to be in relationship rather than to have the marriage, because it is work, and we fail to understand that that is work. And as our ladies mentioned, you marry and then you can't even take care of yourself. You marry, the children comes, the work comes, the challenges come. And some men are like, oh, now you don't even have attention for me. It's not like your center point is the children. I'm no longer counting this marriage. A whole lot, but it's work. And we need to teach people. People need to understand. People need to learn before they get into such marriage or relationship.
Oh, okay. Yo, but I see baby. Come on, my G. So, maybe different questions. Dan can be a ne story no say or ni no ye na me ni no ya no say it's for the well-being of the children. No ye na o twem panani na so say it's for the well-being of the children. But your affairs ne wo be worry biom ne divorce ne ade destroy a family no. Do you think say Dan prioritize or no any happiness over the stability of the family and
Sure did, 100%. I told you, most men are naturally selfish when it comes to certain things, especially when he already decided that he was stepping out. That was his first selfish act. For him to even think and process it, as I think Counselor Kine said, if you got married because they be a biblical, what you say, I worry any idea. At the end of the day, you're the leader of the house. If there's any issue in the house, you should be the first one looking to fixing it instead of stepping out. So for him to even think that, oh, he was doing it for the well-being of the kids, how are the kids benefiting from this? If it was mental health, then he should have did something that was not going to hurt the kids or the wife and still get that mental health. But he didn't. He was doing something to please himself, and that was the selfish act. So how was he helping the kids? I don't understand that.
I also don't understand. Do you think that
I don't even get it.
Dan could have prevented this if he had been more generous financially to succumb to
Yes, he
what
should have given her the 20K.
to 20K
Give her the
together.
20K. Go
Because
buy
we
your
are
life,
making
and
1 million a year.
Yes,
Money 250.
thank you.
I don't think so.
Nah, I didn't. She should even be getting half of it. If anything, if she was the one that was working to help you and putting all that money in there for you to be where you're at today, that's what I'm saying. Men have a different taste when they have money. So at the end of the day, while your man is developing, develop yourself too. At the end of the day, because regardless, bro, we have women that are in shape, good looking, and they're still getting cheated on.
Yeah.
And somebody might say, oh, because of their behavior. They're probably good behavior, but some men just, let me tell you, the spirit of lust is demonic. It's never satisfying. Look at the American guy recently, the coach. He was making $7 million.
Wow.
$7 million a year. He was cheating with the assistant. That was not even enough. He was in other people's DMs trying to get OnlyFans model.
Wow.
So that should tell you, so it's not even the wife or the secretary. It's the spirit of lust. And that thing will always make great men fall. And that's just, if men were able to grasp that, like, Charlie, you can build everything in just 2 seconds. Another woman can come and break all of that down. And now he can't even get a job as a coach in a middle school. Everything you've worked so hard for. Shannon Sharp, same thing. $20 million to an OnlyFans model, a girl that's like what 19. Your whole life you played football. Yeah, boss. Why do you now this guy when you come mobile because why I say why?
Why I say
There was nothing beneficial for the kids, so he needs to stop that nonsense.
Yeah. All right. Before I'm about I don't so no me asem way minim say my wife 8 year me na maka actually no time my wife did can too kwan or buy there was a girl na me nurse in Ghana. There was just a lady bia ya koye I think it's immunization ewo almost school na me wo no you know we command immunization injection na ade no from that time no to feel the same area na me so my high dynamic you know. I say yeah, down for so I don't know. Oh, you teach any means so no, you know, Miss me a nurse or buy also me come at home. I'm saying now. I said now when I now can say I hear what say or be corner to find out where you live. Me feel so bad best time keke or buy you be our best time keke no or buy ya or better na so because I push her out and into or started so or spread they say me huni ho. Don't you think say sa me who ni ho tini eno na emma binum or fall into trapper instead of me dane me ho na oba na asfari say me who ni ho de na me chere say me who ho frames. Don't you think frames ho? Okay, let me say
I think she probably walked away.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, if she goes and she talks about who cares? Does that take anything away from you?
Yeah, she spread it too. Or catch them crofo bebre, you know, crofo. And then I would ya abaye ya. Or can't I'm say munjano. But it's them say too much, so I had to tell people the truth. What happened? So I get the ogun or the beshu. And sana me who said that was her true color.
Yeah, her intentions was that but that didn't say so. Mama go prove and said that's a childish what I say. I always say something that doesn't take anything away from you physically and I say emotionally. Who cares? You're living with your wife, or your wife knows you can hammer. So why do you care?
Hey, cha, he knows what.
What I say. That's the thing. That's the only person that you should be worried about if she's saying that. You know they
exactly,
but the outside girl, you don't have any responsibility or any EBR towards her. She can go and spread. Who cares? Are the men also gonna come and say, "Oh, try me and let me see if you want?" You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense. Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. Counsel, my embra also for this question. Linda, no, 21 years. Now, or shall I say so? You, ama papa, we are or what? 38. Do you think Linda also was naive? And I said, Papa, no, didn't Nisika influence, 21, 38.
Yeah, 21 years. We're not saying she's a kid, right? She's not. She's an adult. She's considered as an adult and responsible for her also decision point that she will make. But again, as I said, what was her upbringing? Because if we know there are gold diggers, we know there are girls too who, like some sister here said it beautifully, that there are those that wants to have another person's wife. They don't want to start with, maybe find their own, and then they want, that they want which is ready cooked, ready made. So that is also something. And in comparability, she is also responsible for that moral decision that she should have been taught, right? From our Christian point, we say you don't destroy a marriage where two God has put together. You don't come between it. When the man started giving advances, you could have maybe respectfully denied or quit the job. If he became aggressive, you could have reported to the police. There are things, but as I say, the law of survival, right? She'll be looking at her survival, looking at the future. The man has promises her so many things. You've worked with the man, know the man's had. The man, it happens. This is a sad reality that so many bosses, doctors and nurses, bosses and secretary, it's a recurring thing in this life that we live. And again, as I said, what is the decision point? Both Dan and the Linda, what are their groundings to make the right decision? Because life is full of challenges. They are challenged. It's purely challenged situation that they are challenged. But are they going to make the right decision? What will make them make the right decision?
Oh, okay. So Linda na onim say we dey say frames as a frames in ho. Into no frames wo ho ampacho let me know say oni ho so let me go to Mama G. Mama G na Linda no onim pa say Dana Aware with 4 kids. What do you think was her the idea, the rationale of still pursuing the relationship? E wo kurum ha say America. There
was no rationale about it. She wanted to benefit. The guy was giving her money, sponsoring whatever it is that she needed. They always say women like married men because of security, right? If you do this, I'm gonna tell your wife. So whatever she wants, she's going to get it. So and then the thing is, she came. She likes what she's getting. So why would I not pursue it? Yes, I know he's married. For right now, forget about my morals. At the end of the day, I'm getting something from it. Again, selfish. I'm getting something from it. I don't care if it's the kids or the wife. At the end of the day, that's their business. The husband has to deal with that. He came to pursue me, not me. That's the mindset. Let me get what I can get at the end of the day and call it a day. She doesn't care. She was getting the benefit. She enjoyed the benefit more than the consequences that was going to come. So she was just enjoying what she was getting. It was just that simple. But most people are not able to say, you know what, no, I'm breaking up a home and maybe I'm from a broken home, so I don't want to do that to someone. At that point, they're not thinking about all of that. They're just getting the benefit that they're getting, and that's what they care about. So the selfishness, it goes back to that again.
Okay. Somebody says some women. Adam, wait there now. Me pick you because now what the on and off. Or say oko na waba. I said unya cause. Intra na me who say ujina so and I say ujina so. Linda ne Linda ne Dan no. Omo worry with security. They said they did everything possible to prevent Betty because of Betty saying I know any idea no. Do you think say nka we na Betty ni ya na say la mu push na out no? Nka say nka oji sika na or forget it because he can almost say of course Dan no afa nkwara no so behwe omo. Sanji $16,000. Do you think say nka oji na or forget it no or enjoy in life? Search obenya be mafufuru bia wara na so obenya ahoto ne asomdwe e wo ne life ana.
Okay. Ade we unko obi mu da. Beka say yire no na ka oji 16,000 na okọ ya nkeye. Okay. Ebi a ebre bi a wakom. Eya obi a wakom sabe nka bema no oje even 16,000 dollars a month. Na wa ma ohwe kwa na okam ho a. Ebi a enka wo pe. Na wohwe bo edan bi a wakoto ka bi a wodem na wa ma 16,000. Ebi a nka wo ho no mo a the enjoyment a wo kai sa bla ma ble o se nka me ne be me na tina so na nka sa de we nka ye. This is what cause that situation ni mu bi. Ansana what you say me talk ko kumasi abonten so oduo ma abonten so sem ko gua na yire. Se na etuo wo hot se the America etuo nye na ya
Ebi aka
ebi aka medem.
But unim say see ya wan fa tue na wen yan kwei. E na say see no we enjoy your life uti baby a enjoy life with another husband. In this enka wo koye na wo koda prisoner.
Because me okay che papa no to see
Ena me ken say ebi aka wutie say wo de wo say o maame na wo papa nom no etumi egada wo etufo ne omo kan ne say omo ka. In this ebi na yamfa ne say Linda so wo situation.
Me say na wo ka say sorry wo say be man say oba na bodam.
Yes, I don't know the tintin. Yes.
Me obema ne ka kire me say emye mma na omo wu nyina na e wale wo. Me de one me wo fo na ko fa foforo ho. Hey Erade Nyankopon. Me say bla no matter money be na ade be ma obi a. Ebe kam sa ya no emi dem bia na ma me so me bia na Linda say wan na wo kan
when you mama bi so okay
when you obi
and
mama
only am
nkasa
person
ankyere no when you obi ani ne nkomo ankyere no what you say the 16,000 me ma o man 16,000 metal man me hwe om ade na wonni bi na woda efom no wonni bi na me ye adwuma boa wo ne de wan dwen da bi se me nye wo seso ba na wonni adwuma ne wie na wugina ba bi dia o ma me 16,000 every month metal ma me ye wo say just say ekwa be faso be gu ani mo ase se o de onye oba papa no ono wo twempra na wo boa de na onim se wonye good o Omunyanya baby jina pe me se me yede ni suban. Wunnim ni ntia. Onyenya no wanya nnua. The abrochimpo de onya nnua na Ghana for no. Wanya nnua, wanya maame, wanya wofa. No masa atai be ma na chi. The two be mu dia. Me sister no ko jail. Abrochi jail dey say any problem.
What them have 80 85 for still on the moon.
Ah,
I saw you know, Munya is a moon,
From 85, I said we 1969, 1969, 50 something years now. 60 something.
78 now.
Yeah, 78 years. Still on us. Omo apply for parole, but they didn't approve. So
nipa ne kase ho akora when you can abo boat you wu awie ukọ aboye abo me maame abo mpena no abo abusua abo bia
okay
e ba ne se me kokọ boni dua sebe me na wu
but one ko bibi kan
minya maame
Joe Bichem ne njumbi oboy o se me wa semu bi semikaya na me pentemu de mara meboa me ho
wako sane maame ni situation mu no wahu yawa na okomunti a 16,000 2019 na me ton kwadu wo Ghana me nya obia ya blame 15,000 Ghana cedis isa me mpe omo koi 1 month later omo blame 30,000 Ghana cedis isa me mpe so me need 1,000 Ghana cedis for that bank
okay
manje
enye sikaro na
wo me ma ne hwe ne ba no po so be fa phone na afre me because bo ne ma me wo dwom yes ayaw untu dia me kom no to musa senka na me wo tua
okay bia
na kama so nka me di
but
bonne
that is not the
solution mama ye emphasize her platform TikTok ya be entu youth ne fo and can't won Paul ba na enkofa no ne nwo
so won pemi a kesi me ni
mo sika Paul bia enada no na wonnim die besi ebia na me de na me de beche wo ba obi mfa nchew nti yentu ye mana ye wo mo ne fo me makache me wo ba be ma baako enu nti me kache me ho se de kwan ne be ma na ode me fa ato no se me nya me seso be ma me pa na me se me seso be ma me nya me hu ne misika me ame hu se sika de me ho ato me ngo me ba na chi
oh
me ni me kujina mba yes na mba no 4 years and over 10 years me to what you say e was so oba wo ball ho so ma hu ne se wa ye okay ansa na wa wura awale mu kura
yo
because maame no se na oyi obedo ne ho a na nka be ma 16,000 bia no nkoso oji 20,000 de ka ho a nka na koma beto ne yem e bia na make no woni ne ho hwe wunti watena sia kan kola na mo akọ school wunti watena sia akọ ahwe awo ama wunti wa anya dwuma bia nka bibia ho wo de wadu ba bia be so me mu ma kom soro no wo be ka tell me 16,000 wo ho woni 16,000 nyina mo kwa bonsam jam ho
yo madam and asibebre counselor Living said bacho we dey abeto wonan so ye ma me situation ye utumu se eye Betty ni Roderick Betty ni Dan asemi be pepe then obeka obeka me ye ma me kakra na etiefo so beti ase say when you go into this situation we dey say utumi blend twi ni brofo ni na ma me anka be me de
we dey senia o kan no na yeah yenu aba we dey obese kafra because we ase ne dey ade bia ye komu bia no wo hu sunsuaso a e wo so wo ya brabom ebi ne senia ama wadwene esi achim na sipi e wo mema ho no saa pepepe e na yenu aba ye kan ho ase no oda ejeli wono nso akwan afa nyame kan ne senia tresem kan wo se vengeance is the Lord nempempi no mimi ready saa tresem na me fa ne se ye ka vengeance na ade asi yachi ene ye ka ne se vengeance eye the Lord na ne ebesi nani achi na de eye wo onsem nti senia wafa wadwene no asi wadwene pi se e wo mema ho no enka ne kwa so ano no but ehunsunsuaso se wa ma healing ama wakoma mu na ansesa wabrabo a ehunsunsuaso nso e wo ho a ebetimi affect your life mpempi no se mafa sa situation mu aya na nka bema ne na ware a etoso bio no eno na enya ehunsunsuaso nti ɛho no impact bɛrima no ho abufuo bɛrima no ho yaw no na ɔde aba awareɛ no mu a ɛno no nso ɛma awareɛ wonya mu anigyeɛ na asa akɔ cycle ɛbɛsa repeat nti sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a wo no bɛnya wo ho fa ahodie na wobɛnya wo ho wasomdwie wɔ abrabɔ mu na afei no nso no yɛte asase yi so ha yi sɛ akyina ne yɛbɛsie no ida sɛ wobɛfa ne sɛ yɛatwerɛ sɛ ɛbɛsi nti wɔ sɛ ɛsi anaasɛ ɛyɛ w'anamontuo wo decisions a wo make ɛma no sie mpɛn pii ne yɛka ne mmienu nyinaa bom sɛ nyame n'anim daakye nyame ɛyɛ ne ɔpɛ na mmom ɔnam yɛn so na ɔhwɛ so na nea ɛbɛsi na ɛbɛyɛ nea ɛpɛ no nso abam ɛno nti na ho hia sɛ wonya wankasa wo healing wɔ mpaebɔ mu wonya wankasa wo healing sɛ saa nipa no koraa no wobɛdelete saa issue no afiri w'abrabɔ mu na mmom wobɛhwɛ sɛ saa adeɛ a ɛsi yɛn ɛnsi bio wɔ w'abrabɔ mu na mmom momfa ho abufuo yawdie ɛne sɛ wode bɛka mmarima nyinaa bom sɛnea wokasa mu wotumi ka sɛ mmarima yɛ wiki mmarima yɛ sei no wode bɛka bom na mmom na ebia nyame bɛnam ne so bɛba w'abrabɔ mu nkɛ bɛboa no w'ani bɛpa afiri so anaasɛ sɛ woanya bi nso a wobɛtumi akora ne yie na watumi atu anammɔn a ɛbɛtumi ama awareɛ na agyina wɔ nyame mu no nso asipi nti no media ne sɛ nyame nyɛ w'adom no ɔmmoa wo sɛ efie Ghana na wɔn asɛ kwanya wɔ hɔ sɛ wobɛnya obi a ɔyɛ counselor wɔ saa kwanya yi so mpempi bi yɛde to asɔre anim ba make sɛ ne bi a asɔre no sɛbio pastor no koraa na brantiwa bi a ɔno koraa no relationship koraa wɔ saa problems yi bi ebra yi nim koraa sɛ asɔre no ne mmaayewa deda ne ade na wasɛm sɛ kɔto n'anim a yɛsi yɛmfa yɛasɛm nkɔ nyame anim nkɔ pastor anim deɛ ba saa pastor no deɛ menka sɛ fa kɔ asɛm kɔ no so nti nyɛ pastor nyinaa na yɛde yɛn nsɛm kɔ no na mmom wokɔ asɔre a yɛ asɔre mapa nyame wom na sɛ wogye sɛ pastor no ɛyɛ nipa a n'adwene mu da wɔ no nim nyame asɛm ne nyame honhom na ahoɔden wɔ no so deɛ mɛsrɛ sɛ wobɛtumi de akɔ no aboa onyɛ sɛ wɔnkyerɛ
mentwa no woka pastor asɛm yi bɛrima me waree no ne papa yɛ Pentecost elder ne maame yɛ Pentecost deaconesses meboa no elder na ehu sɛ me ne ba na wo ɛmu tumi kɔgye awareɛ foforɔ maa no nti asɔre no deɛ ɛhe na ɛyɛ papa no
na meka no nti na meka man ka kyerɛ sɛ asɔre biara no so ɛno nti no yɛn nyinaa ɛno ne asɛm a yɛwdam ɔsi yɛfɛ nyame na mmom asɔre a wokɔ no na ɛyɛ na ɛɛden sɛ wobɛnya mu papa nti no yɛn nyinaa
ɛno so ka ho na yame adom no wohu sɛ TikTok app yi sɛ wohwɛ a sɛ obi yɛ program a na nkurɔfo screw sei ɔmohwɛ mu sei ɔmɔ no bo nso ɔmo screw wokɔ na sɛ asɛm a wɔka no ɛnyɛ papa no wokɔ de next one yɛ ba fɔ sɛ gyina hɔ ebi te sɛ nea yɛkɛ wotumu sɛ yɛde afotuo obiara de ɔka no obi de life experience obi de ne council experience obi de ne education a wakɔ yɛnaa no yɛde tu nkurɔfofo nti no we have to take opportunity sɛ ebi a unni pastor bi anaasɛ obi a betumi akonsult na you have to take opportunity or advantage of what we have today ne nea yɛbɛka ne nea nkurɔfo aka na yɛnsa ina na ɔka no ebi wɔ betumi ahyɛ omu saa no wobɛdu age bi no wobɛhu sɛ ɛnya nsunsuanso ɛwɔ health instead of wobɛyɛ
wowurɛ bɛfie a na wonni ne ba wɔ fie bahɛ sɛ wone ne wɔba na wohwɛ ba no sɛ
akɔla no biara anim a
sɛ akɔla no bɔnsɛ ne mpo deɛ ankanyɛ ya ba wotumu sɛ akɔla wogyina hɔ yi deɛ papa yi photocopy pɛpɛɛpɛ n'anim n'aso ne bibibia
Counselor no Mama G, you have responsibility. Ya na yakofa ba nti no yemboa ya maame adom. Mama G, counselor we dey Mama G mpacho bremu kakra man na yenhwe se wo so dey abeka na betumi aka ya maame akoma to ne yemu a.
Oh, we say a lot of time people feel like say closure no you don't need closure, right? Because obviously minim say brand or bepa yes sister chokra at some point. But we are saying so no say so okay so we try be obi amana be part our coma it may never happen. So what you say it happen is you because you're grateful, but if it doesn't happen then what happens? Because they say na ya oni shemu and na hatred ni shemu no obi ka osana na into your day you are tied to that person at some point. They say the forgiveness is not for the person but it's for you. Because yes, it's what carry burden, up to now. I don't know how many years it has been, but still,
about 10 years now.
Show like,
media channel, da. Na the TN says, I mean, what to say? Obi ni obi abre. Na nipa na bu obi kwase a
What's
na
it? Obi
akai
asem
me
one na
de
kai wo. Okay.
what ya say na me hu ne say nipa no de wakɔ mu no e ma manfo ni natam because unuru hɔ a
Right.
unnim
Okay.
tie
Okay.
ba me
It's
de
true.
nyame anim no kure so nyame ahyira me
With the
saa
yamiase.
de we si ye no me nyɔnko a minim ne baabi adama ba America
Oh.
yes ɛnɛ mɛka ma me nsa si me bo sɛ ebi a meyɛ okay kyɛn papa no
Maybe yami adum.
meyɛ bebree deɛ ɛyɛ naa ne sɛ ɔhyɛ uniform na menhyɛ bi by meyɛ okay sen no ba mekɔto sɛ ebi wɔ me situation ni mu a na ɛyɛ me ya sɛ nkwalaa na ɛba no deɛ na ɔmo sua firi mu sua adwuma bɔ wo ho so ansa na wawale ɛnsɔre kɛkɛ nkowura relationship mu ɛna ɛmmoa bɛrima ɛwɔ sɛ wɔ ɔbaa wo na wodi bɛrima sika
Body a wahayin because na mekani emu
ɛwɔ sɛ wɔ ɔbaa wo na wodi bɛrima sika ɛne kwan sɛ bɛrima di wo sika ɛnyɛ saa
he said yes can kwan de boa be ma ntino uga sem
ntu ne fo koraa
all
ntu ne
things
fo
work together for good ma me hye minimum ebinum bebre a omo aware esojafo e wo Ghana instead of omo ware esojafo wie no omo te be ma camp no omo ton ade you know they are just being wives instead of one kasa wade wo ho e wa he all things work together for good Romans chapter 8 verse 28 nti no ni ebesi bia no me dai bia me so wo do wo ho atu nya me so no adi na wankasa adi ni bi adi na di bua wo na wie um yie se papa mu se bo no mu mama ji wo wie ye na me ma counselor embre mu na yemfa
Yeah, I mean, not your sister so on the chest. So
or
I
the
guess that
chest
she's very passionate. So
passionate
or call now two before, right?
na kai no
So to them I will be going at the more
yo mate counselor pa che yembre mu na ye hwe ye ba me kai no
sɛnea meka no sɛ timu bio sɛ ɔwɔ ha no deɛ mɛserɛ sɛ ɔmpɛ kan sɛ professional assistant so nea ne meka pastor sɛm ne professional assistant ɛno no ɛboa nkɔmmɔdie wonya nua a ɔno nim adwuma no mu sɛnea ɔmo asuasua no ɔno anim sɛnea psychologically no ɔmbɛtumi aboa ɔmo watumi adiliti anaasɛ wamanage such trauma such life experience na ma wabrabɔ nso atumi na meka si so no so ne sɛ nea yɛtie biara no sɛnea ewiase esisi kɔ no nneɛma ɛto yɛn no nneɛma a ɛrekɔ soɔ no nso no sɛnea wadwene mu positie no ɛno nso na reflect nea ɛtoto nti yɛmfa no sɛ obi a ɔbɔ mpaeɛ su nyame no ɔyɛ yi no ne life focus yɛ nka wiase no blessings nko ara ne anigyeɛ ne saa nneɛma no ɛno ankasa no wɔ effect yɛka sɛ nyame ba mu but ɛno ankasa no the law of attraction ne kyerɛ sɛ that state na wowɔ mu no twetwe a very good positive state ɛma wabrabɔ no nti ne yɛka sɛ you have to forgive you live not out in your pain of the past but you look focus in the future and find bright life nti no ho hia no nti ne yɛ obi kɔ trauma mu a nkaka yɛha no masogyafoɔ no post PTSD ɔmo kɔ mu a na affecting and impacting in life in the future nti no nyame nyɛ n'adom sɛ mmerɛ ni hɔ sɛ bi ɛbɛbɔ mpaeɛ aka ɛbɛtumi aka nhyira asɛm kakra na nyame ahoɔden ne tumi so ntumi nka adwene ne n'akoma ne ne sunsum na ntumi nyina ne nye pi sɛnea abɔfra nkankan wɔ abɔfra no a sɛ wafa ne papa photocopy no sɛ knowing or knowingly no impact akora ne life so from what you saying no ibe impact ne life but sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a wobɛtumi overcome such trauma ne adeɛ na ɛkɔɔ so na ɛbɛtumi amoa atumi atoa so asa aboa abɔfra no no na sɛsɛ hia yɛ ankasa nyame nhyɛ mmoa ɔno nhyɛ wo no ɔnka wo ho
abɔfra no deɛ nyame anim mengo n'akyi ɔda makoma so papapapapapa ɛno nti na menya ngo n'akyi no menya ngo n'akyi me sɛ ɔwie secondary school
enche yam ya do ma ba wo n'akyi nti no ayi maame counselor yɛbɛbɔ mpaeɛ but you take opportunity na yabɔ mpaeɛ no matter how many minutes just 1 minute 2 minutes 3 minutes you know ma yɛnwie program no aka question just baako mmienu mmiɛnsa bi pɛ na yɛde aba abɛgu do you think say Linda no deserve to die and I say oh no she was just a victim of a circumstance but counselor
And the word deserve, dear, who can you mean? Say, you be deserve to die. The end can say, no, she doesn't deserve to die. But decision point, and your my yeah, no be more. Say, Ubi Kujinaka Kwemua, Naka highway, assume pain, now Jina Honum, dear. The question is, do you deserve to die? Oh, yeah, then sequence of life for Chile, cause and effect. Ujina Honum Kwana, car, no piano, break, no bone, Kwadia, you will die. That is the deserve to die. And yet, because one making decisions, say, Wakaku Jina, and you can say you deserve to die. So, and to say, oh, you need Pankwadia, Rebecca said, nobody deserve to die. So, say, yeah, pep, woo, na say, why you are Ketri, and you wouldn't want Ketri, and can Yenny Christopher. Your funny say, and hell ne saa nneɛma no a yɛka no nyinaa no koraa yɛnim sɛ da bi a wobɛsesa w'adwene bia nyame tumi gye wo nkwa nti no deserve to die condemnation deɛ yɛn condemn nipa nea wayɛ bia but nea woyɛ no anam a wotuo nneɛma a woyɛ kɔ no obi nka nkyerɛ wo sɛ abɛ a wotwa abɛ a wodua no a na wobɛtwa so ɛne nyɛ sɛ wo ne the first issue a ɛsisi so ọba bi a ọdọ ne kunu boyfriend girlfriend sɛm koraa no especially ha koraa ɛwɔ no koraa no boyfriend girlfriend kwa amanfo kum amanfo wɔ ho na nka mpɛ sɛ wɔba a wɔne na bɔ braa wo na wo deɛ wo no wayɛ sɛ wo ho ɔfɛ nti o sɛ die nti wo ne ne kunu no kɔ nam ba na ɔso wɔ gyae na yere no na wagye so pɛnee sɛ wobɛgye no na waware wɔ no etimi sise so that is where you can say deserve no dia etimi sise oba bebutu etimi sise obodua etimi sise odobakọ aduru so etimi sise ne obeye obia ma ogya ne kunu no obeye nti eno no na ne kwan so ne can say deserve nti decision points are here can no decisions are all making the decisions this girl was making and I say eba na akwan mo no so no ne ground ne parents or koka kire nse o abrantie no person o wa no na omo no ba wedding na waware ni ade no ma anya investigation ma anka hwe ankyira abofrei sorry awoko ya anka hwe ankyira nse okoto so enye se oba ne pene se obeware ato aso na wo no kwa akogye abema no eni se ni nyina no so amamu no de aware ne de a ni decision point ne time ne trajectory of decision point of life no that is where it's going to end her in deserve to die but as a human being say will be before being kwade like as we always say the law of survival who person will survive but won't mean full be crying and will be a life and your life that is the second law of life you can other programs or TRK multimedia
okay
okay
counselor we the last word I obeka na afutu a de ma eti for ne omomoko relationship mu into wo kan wi na yaba mama G so say frame is about there na yaba no so na yaba ma adom so na wi obi abeka na last word ti sha see free wo
I would say nyina ye adwuma relationship ye adwuma ye ba asase so na obi ama one we decide say we no be because of a social ye ba asase so empempi no ye my free mo ba yinim say senior atresem kan no boafo bi ekope boafo se na be a won betimi atena se that is the bottom line of every relationship na emom wo kristosumu a na afi say bia ne culture ne demand say mu bi hia de a nenka mawar ebi wam say yesu so ikra na je say untimi mpa fa girlfriend kopim say bia obewar na mo untimi pon twempena nsem bebrebe sa na etie yesu so aye nyini no so but unya tse wo culture na che say mu be hia de ne wo say mo ware ebi FN ni sa nyoma ni nyina no because yenim say tresem che say nyina na wo say ware nti because ye adwuma adwuma ekoso nti no so obi a wo pese wo ware bia na futuo ne de ma wo se to bo ase enye gidigidi se chinchina na fe na obi a ware na metam ko manim ti chinchina wo se me ware there bi any relationship na wo mu a first na ntisa ba ye memu a me ba o university me den se metimi aka chen se wo go fa girlfriend bia akopum so be ware because ni biase na saa na ekɔ na futuo ni sɛ ya mede me ya na mede ma so obewo relationship mu so ato bo ase ni tu ye nipa no hunu nyansa ne hunu sɛ ni nipa no bɛboa wo ne tibia ne ban ankasa no betimi ne watena ase forever ana sɛ ukɔ how ma mane mu obegina wachi saa nyoma we nyina no besusu ansa na wodi saa oduti akwakɔhye emrase sɛ waware no ana sɛ culturally maware ana mode akonyame anim sɛ nyame nhyira so ma mo Na so waware nso a ene e kan say adwuma kosoa ne to so odo na o di start ye na no anka sentiment na ase unkwa da nyina o so gugu so ade se na wadua aduaba na o so gugu so ni o man ketenkete a ye be say akwasi broni memu me wife be say so bia romantic me say ene roman for say no msi kire odo na efre no romantic me ye Ghanaian take nti no o so bo modin a say ubetutu ho anamon ubeye nneoma ebe ma aware na gina eno de ye adwuma nti esrem a munye aware ho adwuma amen.
Yo, that's it. Frames wo ho maybe a frames ada and I say we ja kakra. Mama G last year, do you think say Betty ni wo no wu na esenka oku dan no ja Betty ana?
Betty, also we are now.
Sorry, esenka oku dan no ja Linda na.
Linda so can.
Oku Linda so kan oku mienu na.
There's so much me go back shower or someone. I mean, honestly, obviously, Obian deserves so be regardless because me onyona amount
Exactly.
right? But we also have to understand say people make decisions on emotions as much as we want to preach that people shouldn't, people do. Did you obey be an who say obi beti mean emotions beti man na ya die bi a onye den e on a normal basis onye. It's whatever you do, think about the consequences that could potentially happen. So I mean I operate in life. So what I say, you know, I mean, right now they made a bed and they're laying in it. And, you know, unfortunately, lose everybody, including the kids, and that's the unfortunate part about it. Mr. Media may say, just be mindful what you do in life because every action there's a reaction.
Yo, me that's it. It's a bit me that's it. Frames, also me that's it. Ebia we jaho ada ana say okay juma. Council of Living said, Pacho yeah the Jumadi na be but council. Pacho ni embe bompa ye short ama yes sister Adom. But sister Adom that's pa no beauty na yeah the Jumadi no abewe. Go ahead.
We are bompa.
Okay.
Onyame a wotisro ososro hina safo rade a obo ade nyina na asa ti mu eye enkwa a yenda ye nana ye mame yem toada ye mame yem oma ye nyini ye ne be dum pempenso a ye dui woni ni due Yesu afra se ye ho adom ne ye ho adwuma ewo nyoma bi a yafa mu abrabo mu a edi ena na hye yen so ema ye ntimi nya efa hodie se ne ba asase so a wo pese ye bebo ye bra ne tu anamo no ani pj sister iba wanim eno bi bioti obi bia nso nam akwan nya yisu bia se dan abrabo na onam so se wa wo ye ogie na wo mumu a wo yi mu eye ne ese ne fata wo no ye adom ne ntimi nya ne etene ye nkwa da nyina na boa yen ne ntimi no ye yerenom ye no ye kununum ni ntimi emmo ehwe mofra a wodi adom yen na mofra nso a ye penso ye adom na bra mofra ba busua e pe mansum na hye ho animonyam na ne entena wo wiase boni wiase nioma a di nipa koboni mu nyina bo ani ni sunkunim ye nkwa de nyina me ni onu anigye wade bia ye bia mo Yesu dim amen.
You say won't subscribe to our YouTube channel TRK Multimedia and Pacheco YouTube na subscribe go and follow us na for support a program ni na no mpacho for support TRK Multimedia no Mr. Wa kona ko subscribe to our channel. Every Saturday morning, depending on your location, say it could be afternoon in Ghana, 2:00. Oba, Texas, he had 8 a.m. Maybe New York, Nadia, 9. So depending on your locations, every Saturday morning at this time, we come your way with relationship talk. Your friend, the sacredness of marriage. And Yankopon Adum Yane Mama G obe joining Yane Frames Adakabre and also joining Yane the Council of Living Saints. Sister Amma and also Ababa joining Yen. How you? Yeah, hambio mumbo amidino.
Eya Adom sister no Adom ena baako Charity.
Okay. Yeah, sister Charity so and so Obaba Journey and sister Adom Amafo ne omom ka hu ina. Ba ku bi ono so be yes submission bi no call you see fom. Me re fi ni din kakra but obi bi oba ye bia no ye da mo ase bebre. Make it a point to be part of this program. Over to me, Johnny. Our TikTok, TRK Multimedia, yeah, but live for her at the same time. And our live, our Facebook. Inti wa opese uhu nia bibia yeah, our YouTube. So over to me, Johnny. Our YouTube later. But before that, you have to subscribe and follow us in all social media handles. So until sir ye be hie mu biom no ne ye kan say boneti asifo yankopon entena. Nyame nka mo ho. Bye bye.